Welcome back to the STG I Sheet, you beautiful people. Now, we did get a very good recommendation, which is something I completely overlooked and forgot about. And this area up here, what we have done is we've set the zones. So this is now out of bounds. So when we go over to animals, we've got free roam, area 1 and home. And also another very good recommendation was the puppies and the adolescent dogs all will be in area 1, so they cannot go out onto the map. So unless they're trained or adults, they shouldn't be wandering around. That will keep the dogs safe, and we've also got our characters, well, our colonists, set into the same similar zones as that. So we shouldn't have anyone going off over here, so we're not going to have another near miss onto paddock, which hopefully should help a lot. Now, we did go and butcher a whole bunch of Thrumbos, and we got a crazy amount of leather from them and a crazy amount of meat, which we managed to sell off, and we got a pretty tidy, I think it's like 26,000 we came out with. So when a UAC trader comes in, we are definitely going to be able to equip up Opoid and Galore, which is going to be super sweet, and then everyone's pretty much going to be where they need to be. As for the research, we are still working on heavy weapons, into deep drilling, ground penetration, and then into heavy autocannons. These heavy autocannons will give us some sort of a chance against the centipedes. And what we also need to look into is we want to get the bionics and the advanced bionics. This is going to allow us to, make bionics for ourselves, which is going to make a massive difference to our carrying capacity. So guys aren't going to be running around with only like 100 rounds of 50 cal, because that stuff is crazy heavy. So if we actually get into a shootout, we should be alright. A slaver from the Polar Bear clan has come in. Paddock is nearly healed, so we are going to move him into that bedroom over there. Take this off that. So now this will be going back to whoever's bed that was. I'm not sure who it was at the time. And these guys were a little bit too far away to try and get in close. And it doesn't look like they had a Solarian on them anyway. So not a massive miss there. As for the plan for this episode, we are going to extend once more. Get the geothermal here, and then we are going to hard wall across this bit, and then hard wall across here, which will force everything into this section. We keep going on about the back wall, but that just hasn't happened for quite a while. So I think it's more going to be the resource cost, because we are struggling on the granite, hence why we have the deep drills going in. And once we get a chance, we're going to change it over to mechanoid drills, and those mechanoid drills will mean that we won't get infestations, and we also don't need one of our guys doing it, which should put us in a decent enough situation. And I was wondering if we should put a door there, but I think a turret needs to go in there, same as these bits. Actually, that being said, I think I am just making that up. We'll go steel door into here, so that won't matter. And then security, we are going to put 2 military turrets. Just in case we get drops or anything tries to breach, we at least can buy ourselves a little bit of time. It won't get us a massive amount of time, but against a couple tribals, that should be pretty sweet for us. And talking about where we need turrets, we also need a couple in here, just to try and deter sappers going into this bit. And like I said, maybe that wall gets done. I don't think it's going to get done this episode, but across here, that should definitely be doable. We'll just copy this template, put it there, reconnect it up, and then wall off. And I think that is a good place to start this episode off. What we will do is we'll just go blueprints, copy this, and then we are just going to take the same one and drop it to here. I think we might take a little bit of tinkering, so we might extend the back bits out so they can shoot across and support these turrets, and then same on that side, which means these turrets will also be able to, well, this turret won't be able to support the bottom, but that one still should be able to support the top across there. That has a very small field of fire. Now, with how we want the wall coming across this bit, and then into here, and then carrying on across, that should deter most things. Because right now, we're not really building this base to deal with sappers as such, though we need to. But when it comes to sappers, it will mainly be tribals, and tribals we can deal with. Even if, say, I don't know, 200 came in, I think we'd probably hold. But as soon as it comes to the mechanoids, we saw what just 2 Inferno Pete's done. They nearly done the whole of our defensive setup. Took all this section out, that's nearly took that section out, but they missed. and then they took what was down here out as well. So mechanoids are our main threat. Pirates will be annoying, but pirates have their bubble shields, which are obviously quite annoying to shoot through because you can't really do too much about it. But the reason the bubble shields work really well is because they hard counter kill zones because they defend the choke point. Now we don't really have a choke point, so they can drop them, but they'll most likely start moving out, and then we can start picking them apart. If we can get some heavy turrets in here with really long range, then we are going to be able to slot things from the side as well. So we're going to have a whole load of heavy weapons with overlapping fields of fire that are going to be able to shoot in and support each other. I think that's going to be our best bet. And we're also going to need to go in to start looking into flooring, and for that we are going to use marble because we have a lot of it. And then we'll get all of this done. This down here is going to be one of the most important parts, just because we want people going this way into this area down here instead of running out in the open, because that is a very bad time if you get caught out by a gun line as such. And we're going to need to expand the hydroponics, but right now we're running low on steel, and we do have a whole bunch of construction work that needs to be done, so I think we would just be wasting resources and time. But that being said about wasting resources and time, we have a bunch of friendlies coming from the Union. Now there's a pretty fair chance that they are going to get hypothermia before they can even get close, but it looks like they want to go up and fight the mechanoids, which I am not too mad about, because fighting the mechanoids, ooh, human leather business suit, that's not too bad. Oh, and we've also got a bunch of steel over here. Fantastic. They're going to go up, fight the mechanoids. These turrets only have limited ammo, and yeah, they're already fleeing. Yeah, I didn't think they were equipped for the cold. Shame, that would have been super useful. Luckily, we just got another bulk good trader come in, so we are going to sell off the meat that we're not using, so we're going to keep with the insect meat, because that keeps Solarians happy. Picking up 30 more advanced, well, components, and then 5 advanced components. Let's pick up that mechanoid component just because we can. We're also picking up 500 cloth so we can build the poker table and the billiards table, try to keep our guys entertained. Selling off some of the other levers, and we're also picking up 3,000 steel, which is a fair old bit, but we are just burning through it like crazy. We'll keep the architect mass, so we can hopefully try to stockpile some of it so we can build the architect table, so we can start breaking things down. And basically anything that we are not using and surplus stuff we are selling off, we're going to try to keep our value low, which is kind of funny seeing as we just butchered those frumbos and made a crazy amount, and selling off a whole bunch of garbage that we got from the tribals. But this should make the rec room a little bit better, because we are running into the issue of, okay, it's not saying it up here, but it was giving me a warning that we need a recreation variation. So billiards table, let's make that out of marble. And where is going to be a good place to put that? I think we'll put it there. That's not the best place, but it will do. And then we'll put that one there. We can put the chairs around it. And let's go put down a chess table. I imagine Solarians love chess. Right, I think our room is moving on okay. And because we're growing in size, we're going to need to move this table out so we can have chairs all around it. And can we build anything good chair-wise yet? Nope. So it looks like we are going to be sticking with steel chairs for the moment, until we can get some better chairs put in. And that should keep the Solarians happy for a while. And because I am a generous god, let's go line that with steel. Now, marble does give you the beauty bonus, so that is good. But this will become quite pretty anyway, just from the stuff we're putting in. And keeping it tidy is more important than keeping it pretty. You get more of a bonus from the room being clean, because as soon as there's any dirt in it, then that just wrecks the beauty modifier on it. So that is the plan. We'll be picking up one mechanoid power cell. This does require a lot of resources to build the actual power plant itself, but will give us 5,000 power per, well, power plant. And does require any upkeep, which is going to be super sweet for us. It's going to be very, very handy indeed. Now, what we do need is a medical skill trainer that we can't seem to see, but they do have a crafting skill trainer and a construction one. The construction one will give to Terra. The the crafting we will keep a hold of, just for the simple fact that I think fairly soon we are going to need to go and pick up another Solarian. And we have a polar bear trying to hunt Labrador 7, which we all know now is not a thing. So Paddock, go shoot that in the face for us if you would kindly. That's going to give us a nice amount of meat. And if you ever wonder what wins, a polar bear or a 50 cal, it turns out the 50 cal does. Now, as for progress, we haven't actually managed to achieve a massive amount. Paddock's running around doing pretty much all of the hauling, which is going really well. Our little rec room is starting to come together. Still not perfect, but it is very impressive, somewhat rich, quite spacious, pretty, and slightly dirty. But if you actually look at the amount of dirt that's on the floor, it is quite a lot. So that is why having the cleanliness bonus is a little bit more important than actually trying to keep it nice as such. But that is all fine there. As for money, we have been spending it quite rapidly, so we do not have a massive amount of silver left anymore. Should still be enough to equip one guy up, so long as we do not spend it, which I imagine we might if we get the chance, because I am terrible with the resource management in this game, because I see things, I want things, I buy things. However, this might be quite helpful. We have a animal migration of how many Arctic foxes? 12. Which isn't a crazy amount, that's really not, but that should very, very happily pad out our food supplies. Now we do have a crazy amount of insect meat, but that is not going to last forever. All the frumbo meat, frumbo fur is all gone. The chitin we only got 200 of for some reason, but I'm pretty sure that these smaller bugs that we're fighting don't really drop the chitin. It is more the big ones, so things like the Royal Mega Spider and Gigalocust and things like that will drop them. So Gnu and Paddock will go out, we'll put them on drafted hunt. We can take these out, which is going to be useful for us. We do have a wanderer walking around, you know, not crazy useful. And we did have a wanderer join, well not join, but was wandering around and basically just walked straight into the centipedes and just got absolutely obliterated. So drafted hunt, we'll get them so they're next to each other, because those 50 cows will just punch through the shields and the armour. And away we go. Nice quick clean-up operation. If they can hit them, that'd be great. There's one down, 2. And just keep an eye on the Doge, make sure it doesn't walk into the line of the 50, which it's going to. Yeah, okay. Should have got onto that a little bit quicker. We're one dog down. Thankfully, it isn't named. Yeah, not perfect because it was trained up. Now let's have a little look on the doggy tab. We got Hamlet. That is a rat that's joined. Let's go kill that off. And I'll tell you what, Gilor is definitely making a difference to the amount of dogs getting trained. That is quite useful, and since we just lost one, we would have been one more up as well. Not even mad about it. Well, kind of annoyed about the dog dying, but the training's going really well. This looks more promising. So a bunch of friendlies from East Maron came in, leaving because of cold temperature, or dangerous temperature. They took one turret out, which is actually for us not a bad thing at all. And we also had the Corian Bulks good trader come in, so they can have the meat. We're not really using that. So long as we can keep stable on the insect meat, we are able to shift most of the other stuff off. But right now, not really looking like they have anything we want to buy. They do have a bunch of things that we can sell them. So that's an extra 1,400. Shame those guys couldn't do more, and they decided to flee because it's cold. And depending on where they go, we might have a bunch more bodies off the back of this, which won't be bad at all. We'll look forward to that. That's more stuff for the dogs. And the dogs are getting pretty good at hauling in their dinners at the moment. For our heavy weapons, we are looking pretty sweet now. We have the double auto cannon, which is very similar to the normal auto cannon, but it holds twice the amount of rounds, which is super good because that's kind of my pet peeve with the auto cannon in Combat Extended, is that it runs out of ammo far too quickly. But we also have the uranium slug turret, which has decent range, not amazing, but pretty decent. So I think we build them into the corners So say if we go one like here, one into there, then maybe one into here, and then like one like in there. What this is going to do is it means that we got a bunch of big heavy rounds firing in. We get attacked by tribals, they're going to get shredded by the blast. Centipedes, if they have a direct hit, will just punch through their armor, which is going to be sweet. They're going to be very expensive to upkeep because their rounds are crazy expensive. And then we also have the double-barreled autocannons, which actually have very good range as well. And now these guys are going to be pretty much amazing against everything. If someone in power armor shows up, it's going to punch through them like a can of baked beans, so no worries there. It hits fleshy things, they're just going to get blown apart, and has the ability to absolutely ruin centipedes, which is going to be pretty sweet. I'm just going to need to think on the best positionings for them, and then we just go from there. Selling off another massive load of garbage, but we have now managed to find one more medical skill trainer, which is quite nice. With that medical skill trainer, we're actually going to put it onto Paddock. Now, Paddock's medical isn't great, it's 6.99. Compare that to like GNU's, which is 15.2, or to Terra's, which is 11.73. But the plan with it is fairly simple. So if we go into the caskets, surgery success chance multiplier is 201%. Then we mix that with what Paddock has built into him, which is superior eyesight, which helps as well. And then really good manipulation. Those together with this extra boost should make him a pretty mean medical operator for the moment. Now Paddock, if you don't mind dropping that and taking it instead, and with his consciousness and everything else, he should get a pretty decent boost from that. So it's up to 9.05, which isn't great. Now GNU, what we need you to do, mate, is we need you to take the risk, and you're going to have the Slayer's Mark installed, the Researcher implant, and we can put Architect arms in. Not that that's going to make a massive difference to GNU with the jobs that he's doing, but still could be semi-useful. Now I need you to rest up for me. Let's go into here and make sure that only Paddock is on doctoring at the moment, and we should have GNU crossing over into beast territory as well. We'll allow the Glitterworld medicine, and then we'll have GNU set to being on the best medicine as well, which is going to give us an even better chance. Okay, Paddock's gone with industrial, but I don't think right now that's going to make too much of a difference. If this is going to work, it's going to work. I don't think that Glitterworld will make a massive difference. Sweet. GNU now has the Slayer's Mark, which again just makes him insane. And then Paddock's going to go get the Researcher implant, and now GNU should just be able to melt through everything that we set him to do. Okay, Researcher implant going in, and let's see how this one plays out. Fantastic. So yeah, GNU is now going to be super brokenly OP powerful as well with Paddock. Are we really going to find any more Slayer's Marks? I doubt it. But is it worth shooting up the caravans when people have the Slayer's Marks? Yes, because we have a whole bunch of dogs, and once that's what we've been forgetting about. That took me way too long to realise. Drop pods. And then we can start sending doggos off. Cool. We'll also get multi-analyzer as well, and we just finished fabrication if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, we need advanced fabrication. And let's actually go down here and see if we cannot make the UAC rockets. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be on the loading bench, but it's going to be worth a check anyway. Nope. What about the machining table? UAC rocket Mark 6 heat. So they require FF6, which isn't particularly cheap, but we will be able to make that pretty quickly. Then we also can make the 90mm rounds, and we can also get RPGs. Nice. So what we need to do is ramp up the old Blood Bowl production, and then we should have enough of it to make a pretty steady stream of all of the good things. Right, so I'm not quite sure how flow has ended up here, seeing as this is in the old Forbidden Zone. Okay, yeah, I see how that happened. You should be in free roam, not on that. Okay, Flo, let's actually get you back to Area 1 and hope that your small size keeps you alive. Come on, Flo. Nope. Shame. And there was me thinking I'd been smart and I just got one of my doges killed. Awesome, so that's 2 dogs down. But now we're still... we still got a lot of them. We've got a new puppy coming in to replace the losses. And what's happening to you? Eric seeking safe temperature. Off the back of that, I do think a steel door into this section is not going to be a bad idea. Then we'll go with heavy granite walls. For the moment, these heavy granite walls are just going to sap us a little bit and hopefully buy us enough time, and also give us a rat run out this way. We'll need to reinforce it with turrets, but for the moment I think this should be pretty good. Right, and we got a loot trader coming in from the Polar Bear clan, who have just decided to take on the mechanoids and are doing deceptively well considering they're pretty basic in their equipment. Cool, managed to take out the turrets. And doesn't really look like they lost too much. They're going to get mashed up by the Lancer. They're not going to really have anything that's going to get through the Lancer's armour. Well, that being said, it's down to 76, 65. Yeah, man, you guys just keep hitting your primitive clubs against whatever mechanoids are made out of. Tidy. That works out pretty well for us. Now, off the back of that, we take Paddock up. Paddock's just going to go smash the Sunblocker up. Polar Bear clan is leaving. We can take this out of the Forbidden Zone, and there is a nice amount of resources up here that we can definitely put to some use. The blueprints for the walls are now sketched up, and we also got a bunch of infested ship chunks, which means more insect meat for us. And then we also have this infested crashed ship part, and then we also have an infested crashed ship module. So we're going to have plenty of bugs for when we need them. We're going to need to be careful in case one of those gets tagged and then the bugs start swarming everywhere. But with this wall here, hopefully, and this little section there, should start forcing things into this section. Then once we have the outer wall also set like this, then everything will need to come into this area. And it's just going to be about getting enough turrets in that we can just blast everything apart. And I think with that is a good place to wrap up the episode. So thank you very much for watching the STG ice sheet. I've been Konzi. You know what you need to do for the algorithm. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.